you so much for watching this season of Fireside Fridays. We had so much fun making it. We wanted to move away from the short form and try what a longer form piece would look like. And being that we love The Bachelor, I thought it was a good kind of analogy for the way that a lot of times medications phase in and out of treatment. I know for me, and a lot of this whole arc kind of followed my process through deciding which medications to keep and slowly phase out. I started with a whole list and we kind of categorized them. A lot of the medications, there are multiple specific kinds, and so we just made large categories. Antidepressants, glutamine, herbal remedies, marijuana, these were the 4 medications kind of categories that I really didn't engage with. I didn't think I needed antidepressants. I stayed away from any herbal or natural remedies. I just wanted more of the hospital-based stuff. And I don't want marijuana for myself. And then glutamine was something that we tried to help with mouth sores, but I really hated the taste of. And so as much as my mom wanted me to keep taking it, I just didn't want it anymore. And that's why those 4 medications went home week 1. Going into week 2, Benadryl, painkillers, poop medications, and antibiotics. Antibiotics, I had a little infection a couple months into treatment, and so I took antibiotics for those, and a lot of people end up taking antibiotics because of our compromised immune systems. Benadryl was something to help with nausea, put you to sleep, but I didn't really like sleeping, and it made me feel woozy, so again, in a few months I phased it out. Poop medication, so these are your colaces, your Miralaxes, milk of magnesia, things that are helped to ease the system. I felt I didn't actually need them so much. Chemo a lot of times can give you a lot of constipation. And then painkillers. I was on a morphine drip, I was on a couple narcotics and a nerve suppressant called gabapentin. And after a few months, I felt like I wasn't in pain anymore, and I really wanted to get out of painkillers to try and, again, kind of decrease the amount of medications and the wooziness I felt from it. The last 4 medications were stuff that I did end up keeping through to the end of my actual treatment. So nausea meds, steroids, immune support, and chemo were all things that I kept throughout the entirety of my treatment. I found that nausea meds and steroids weren't as regular for me. I didn't always need my nausea meds, and even right at the end I tried not taking them just to see what it'd be like. And with steroids, I did take them throughout, but again, I just didn't feel like it was one of those medications that I really spent a lot of mental energy on, so it's a little arbitrary, but that's why we decided to go with that. Immune support, so for me, a lot of this, while steroids is an immune support in a lot of ways, immune support I was thinking of was more along the lines of the little shot that I cannot remember the name of for the life of me. And then chemotherapy, of course, was the medication that I felt, of course, really defined how I handled treatment. So, of course, I thought chemotherapy should be the winner, especially, and while it wasn't my case for a lot of people, they end up taking kind of long-term chemotherapy management for months or years after treatment, and sometimes for the rest of their lives, depending on what kind of cancer and what their diagnosis is like. For me, I finished treatment and I stopped chemotherapy, and for that reason, I was like, okay, chemotherapy stays for a little bit, and then we part ways, and I pick back up with antidepressants, someone I probably shouldn't have let go of, in the sense that I think a lot of people go through a lot of emotional issues after treatment, and myself one of them, and I think antidepressants is really something that helps a lot of people. So that's kind of the explanation of this season of Fireside Fridays. I hope you loved it. I know I did. It was so fun to make, and we'll take a couple weeks off and we'll be back for season 5.